The University Rover Challenge is a competition hosted by the Mars Society out at the Mars Desert Research Station in Hanksville, Utah. And every year they invite collegiate teams who build elite prototype rovers and test and see if they can perform some of the necessary functions that real rovers have to perform on Mars.
You kind of have a don't mess this up feeling of we have all the pieces there, we have all the people we need to pull this off.
As we were driving to Hanksville, I knew that we were capable of winning. And it wasn't that I would only be proud of the team if we won. That's absolutely not the case. But it was just even in the way that people saw our team act all year, the design center staff coming up to me and they were like, right before we left, they were like, okay, go get him.
Roll so hard on three. One, two, three, roll so hard.
We went out there very early in the morning, set up our rover, knocked out the equipment servicing task, did very well in autonomy, and felt really good after that. Driving the rover is harder than you think, and we don't get to see the rover. We just see the cameras that are strapped onto the rover. It's almost like a video game, honestly.
And ever since that first day when we did really well, there was a little bit of a different tone in terms of judges or other teams, how they would communicate with us. They'd be like, you guys are doing really well.
Other teams are kind of scared about where we're at because they want to win too.
Technical-wise, we didn't have any incredibly major issues that kept everybody up all night before task. I remember the night before our last day of task, I called my mom on the phone and I was like, Mom, we just want to win so bad.
1, 2, 3, family!
And it really was during our setup time there that they started putting scores on the whiteboard by our test site that I ran over there and tried to look at other teams that we were kind of worried about taking over us in the scores and got to see that we were in it. Like we were in it to win it. At that point, I think the pressure was on. It was kind of surreal. Going into that last task, it started kind of chaotically. We were all kind of panicking, I think, a little bit just to make sure we needed to do it the right way. A lot of people were voicing their opinions in base station. But as the mission simulation went on, we kind of focused up and really were able to get a good flow going. I was driving the rover when I was sitting there with our arm operator, Chase. He had dropped the object in front of the astronaut, and I just kind of had a gut feeling, I don't think this is close enough. I don't think that we're within the 20 centimeters they allotted. And Chase agreed with me. So we pushed it again, and it still didn't feel right. So we pushed it again. We did one really big push, and everything kind of like squished together. And we're like, that's gonna be it. That's as far as we're gonna go. That's gotta be close enough.
That's fine.
I was the person who also had to witness the measurements, the objects. They had to be within 20 centimeters. And I walked up there and saw 19.5 and almost collapsed. We were actually the only team to not lose signal, delivering the object in the remote canyon to the astronaut, and that was 20 points and we won by 16. The team kind of pushed Remy, Will, and I. We were the only graduates in the team, so they pushed us to the front, and we were like arms around each other watching the presentation from the front. Once they got the top 3, we hadn't been called yet, I was like, guys, turn around. And instead of watching the presenter, we turned around and we watched the team, and they were all just like smiling at us. We were all crying under our sunglasses, but I could not stop smiling.
They announced the second team, and so at that point we knew it was in the bag.
The Mars Rover design team.
At that point, I started crying pretty much immediately.
Didn't know what to feel, honestly. It was a rush of emotions. And then finally, just as we kind of collected ourselves and ran up there and held the trophies and hoisted up above our heads and got to yell and scream a little bit, it was just a surreal experience to be able to kind of prove to our friends and family, to the staff and faculty back at S&T, to all of our sponsors on our team, that we're the best in the world.
1, 2, 3, world champ!
It was really cool to be able to walk down that red carpet they had out for us with the confetti popping. Take a moment to just breathe and realize that we are the world champions and that we couldn't have done it without the people here that are celebrating with us.
I was just so happy to see that I facilitated and helped execute this kind of experience for people in the CEO role. People who go to this school in a small town in Missouri are able to form a team and form a culture that's able to build a product that wins on an international stage. We have proven that we can do this, so let's keep doing it.